Hey guys, welcome back to Raw Doing Stuff. Today we're going to do a smoked cured turkey. Now this one's about 22 pounds. Usually I like a turkey that's about 14 pounds, but I went to Wally World and this was the smallest one I could find. So that's what we're doing. I've done them this size before and they work fine. It just takes longer for them to cook. So how I'm going to do that, I'm going to show you this one of the simplest ways to do this to cure a turkey so that it tastes like a ham. So what you want to do is you want to get yourself some of this. You see the name and the phone numbers on there of the company I got this from. It was Southern Indiana Butcher Supply. This is a golden brown sugar cure. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to put 2 cups. I've got 2 cups measured out here. You want to put that into 1 gallon of water. And you want to mix that up just till it's dissolved. Just like that. Once it's dissolved in there, then we're going to inject the bird, okay? And I'll bring you in closer and show you how I inject it into the bird. Okay, so what you want to do is just take this, fill your injector up, and how I like to do it, because if you come in and you inject in here, whoa, we're leaking there, you're going to get holes in here. So if you take and go underneath this way with a big long needle like that and you inject it, you can see it puffing up there. You just kind of move that around. Put about 1 in there. I do the same thing on this side. Need a little bit more in this other side. Had a lot of air in there when we done this one. Okay. Then you just want to put, man, that thing must have a gasket leaking in it. Put 1 in the, little bit in the wing. Do the other wing. Okay. Your legs. Usually I like to come up in them from here, back in here, because there again, then you're not putting an extra hole in there. You can see how that just fills up in there. So we do this side and do the other side. So oh, missed there. There we go. Big thing is just get it under the skin there, and it'll get into the meat. We'll come down here, our thighs, put some in there. Okay, that one you really have to put a hole in it. It's not ideal, but there's no other way to get it in there really. That and the wings. Alright, so we got that bird. It's all injected. as much injection as that's going to go in there. Once it starts coming out and pulling up on here, you know you got enough in there, okay? So now we got to put this in a 5-gallon bucket, and then we're going to cover it in the brine that we have here. We'll probably have to mix one more of these up to get the bird covered. Alright, so we got this bird in the bucket. So we just got to dump this in here and cover it up. So it looks like we're going to have to mix up 1 more gallon of the brine to cover it up. There we go. That'll do it. It's got it floating. So now what we need to do is we need to take a plate and set it down on top of there like that, and that'll keep it down while it soaks. It's got to soak for 3 days. Every once a day come and just kind of move it around and stir it around a little bit, and that'll move it around a bit. But other than that, I'm gonna put it in a cooler with some ice. Usually I can just set them outside because it's cold enough, but this time I'm gonna have to put it in a cooler with some ice. Okay guys, so we got it in the cooler here, and we're just gonna take our ice and dump it around the bucket. That way we don't dilute our cure at all, but it'll keep it nice and cold. Okay, so we got 2 bags of ice. That should keep it good and cold. It's a pretty good cooler, so it should hold the ice for 3 days, because it's getting below freezing at night, so it should be fine. When I come out and stir it, I'll check on the ice, and if it needs more, then we'll add more, but it should be fine. So that's it. You just come back and stir it once a day. Alright guys, so our turkey has been soaking in this brine in the cooler for 3 days. We've moved it around a bit every day. Now what we need to do is get this big old bird out of here, and we want to rinse it off. Since everybody's busy inside with the kitchen, we're just going to use this spigot. I'm just going to rinse this bird really good. This is good cold water, so that's good. You don't want to use hot water. Get me a little wet, so that's okay. So yeah, just like so. Give it a good rinse. And we're going to get it over here. Alright, so we got this bird all rinsed down. Now we're just going to dry it off with these paper towels. Get it as dry as you can. Just like so. Get this inside dried out. There's still some water in there. Okay. Get rid of that. Now the next thing we need to do is we're going to shove this apples inside this cavity here. We're losing our leg there. You just want to pack this as full as you can get it. This will add a little bit of moisture, but it also will fill this void so it cooks more even. It helps with that. You just want to shove as many of those in there as you can get in there. Alright, so next thing we want to do, in this cup I have mixed up, this is some cornstarch. You can use cornstarch or baking powder. This helps to get the skin crispy. It's mixed with some of this, just some roasted garlic and herb. Before you put that on though, You want to spray it with some duck fat. Alright, so our duck fat's a little frozen because we left it in the truck, but it'll still spray on here, so you don't need a lot. We're just going to spray it like so, and we'll just rub this big boy down. Just rub your meat. Gotta get this underside here. Just make sure you get it all covered. Help brown that skin and help crisp it up. Rub your wings. Okay. Now we can get our rub on there with our baking or our cornstarch. They say you can use baking powder as well. This will help to dry the skin out. Just kind of get an even coat all the way around it. Get the back side. Alright, that should do it. We're just going to let this sit. We're actually lost some of our apples, man. Better put those back in. So we're going to let this sit and let the skin dry out for about an hour, because that'll help it crisp up. And then we'll come back and we'll get it put on the smoker. Alright, so our turkey's been in the cooler for a couple hours with our brine, or with our spices and everything on it. We're going to get it on the smoker. And we're at my parents' house for Thanksgiving, so today we're using this Yoder smoker because that's what my dad has. Very nice smoker. And we're going to get our turkey on here. Now we're going to put this on the smoker to start. Breast side down, like so. Tuck those wings in. And we're just going to let it go. It's probably going to take about 12 to 14 hours for this to smoke. We'll start it out smoking at 155 degrees, and then we will raise the temperature after 2 hours to 180. Let it go at 180 for 2 hours. Then we'll raise the temperature to 200 to 225 and let it smoke there until it gets to an internal temperature of about 160. So we'll be back when we raise the temperature on it. Okay guys, so we lost the audio on this, but I'll voice over it. So we're going to flip the turkey over because we have to put it so it's breast side up now. And we do that because it helps, in my opinion, it helps putting the breast side down. The fats from the dark meat run into the breast. So we're going to put our probe into the thickest part of the breast here. And we're going to continue smoking the turkey. It's going to smoke at 225. We're going to turn it to 225. You don't want to turn the temperature too high or you end up with the sugars in the brine burning. So that's why we do it at 225 and keep it at a low temperature. The turkey's been cured, so you can smoke it at a low temperature and have it be safe. That's a lot of the reason for curing the turkey. You can get more smoke into it. So now we're going to get inside and make the glaze. So to make the glaze for the turkey, we start with some apple juice, and we're going to put about approximately 1 cup of apple juice into our pan. And just, it doesn't have to be exact, but that's about what it is. The recipe called for 1 cup. I'm just eyeballing it here, getting it close. Our next ingredient is going to be some honey. There again, I don't want to make a mess out of a measuring cup, so I'm just going to eyeball it. If you want about 1/2 cup of honey in there. I usually never measure honey because it just makes a mess. It's easier just to eyeball it. So the next ingredient we're going to put in is some brown sugar. We're going to put about 1 cup of brown sugar in there. And then the next ingredient and final ingredient is going to be some sugar in the raw. and we're going to put about a half a cup of that into our glaze. And then what we're going to do is just bring the glaze up to temperature. You don't really want to boil it, but you want to get it hot enough that the sugars and everything melt, and that it all melts together, so that you have a nice constant consistency in the glaze. And let it reduce down just a little bit so that it's thick enough to put on your turkey. And this turned out really well on this turkey. It ended up being extremely good, and I'll do it from now on when I do a turkey that's cured. Alright guys, so our turkey is at 155 degrees. So I made up this glaze. We're going to glaze this turkey. It's a honey glaze. I'm just going to basically take this brush and just kind of drizzle it over the top of this. Where this is going to taste like a ham, this is going to be really good on here. We're just going to kind of put it on here and let it kind of run down it, just to help finish it off for the last 5 degrees. Plus it's going to give it a little bit of moisture here and kind of give us almost like a honey baked ham on the outside of our turkey. Which normally you wouldn't want that, but since it's a cured turkey and it's going to taste like ham, it should be really good. I've never tried this before, but I'm thinking it'll be good. Okay, so we've got it all pretty much covered with our glaze. We have some sugar in the raw here, which will melt on there as well. So we're just going to take this. This will kind of caramelize on the outside of this bird, make it look good, make it taste good. So why wouldn't we want to do that? And we're going to come back here in probably about 30 minutes. And we'll put one more coat of this on before it's done. Alright guys, let's take a look at this turkey. Check this thing out. We'll get the cameraman in here close, take a look at this. Look at that, that is looking awesome. We're going to glaze this thing one more time. Then we're going to let it go until we get done. Alright, we're just going to put a little bit more of the sugar in the raw on there. Okay, we're just going to let this smoke for another probably hour or so, and then it'll be ready to come off. Alright, so we're going to get our turkey off the smoker. It's at 160 degrees. It'll carry over another 5 degrees while it rests for an hour until it's time to eat. So we're going to put this right inside here. What we'll do is we're going to cover it with this foil. We're going to put this towel over the top. That's just for soaking up any moisture that might be in there. I'm just going to let it rest until it's time to eat. Alright, so we're going to cut into this turkey, see what we got. I'm just going to cut a piece off here and try it. Oh yeah, look how juicy that is. Crispy skin. I'm going to give a piece of this to the old cameraman here. Whoops. Threw our pan. That was a fail. Anyway. Oh yeah guys, that glaze on the outside, smokiness in it, tastes like ham. We're going to take this inside, get it cut up. Oh, that is good. I got to get some more of that. That is a good turkey. Best I've ever had. If you like what you see, give us a thumbs up and a like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.